Well guys, Avatar is trending again. That's never good. I think it's safe to say that Avatar has been on a pretty strange journey these past couple of months. Since being added to Netflix, we've seen an Avatar renaissance and an entirely new fandom build up online. People watching the show for the first time, people rediscovering the show. Avatar is now bigger than I would argue it ever has been before, and it's finally hip with the kids again. Hey, I don't feel old anymore. In fact, we even made a video about how hopeful Avatar was looking, especially with the live-action Netflix series. But like all good things on this world, it was short-lived. Because very recently, the creators announced that they were departing from the series due to creative differences. They both drafted really respectfully written letters, but you could tell there was a lot of tension during this production, leading to people speculating exactly why. And I'm not gonna lie, when I heard this news, I was like, I would hate to be a Netflix executive right now. This is about to be some pretty bad PR, and I was not far off. As of right now, cancel Avatar: The Last Airbender live action is trending and people are not happy. But there actually might be a lot more to the situation, and I think we're dealing with an actual serious scenario of massive misinformation being spread. So let me get to brass tacks real quick. I don't know if I want this series to be canceled or not. Part of me is morbidly curious to see what it would look like. But either way, I'm definitely not excited for it like I was before. I have a pretty controversial opinion that I don't think Avatar entirely works in live action. I think it's a beautiful animated story, but when you try to put that in the real world, it looks goofy. Maybe that's because we've only seen it be goofy. I would love to be proven wrong. So it kind of makes sense that everyone would be like, cancel it. You know, maybe they're mad their favorite creators left, especially because of creative differences. Seems like the fandom supporting the creator's decision and kind of publicly saying we just don't want this if they're not going to be a part of it. But if you actually look at what people are talking about, this is a very different situation because people are throwing some serious allegations out there saying that Netflix wanted to whitewash the series, saying that they wanted to age up and sexualize the characters, and this is some pretty crazy stuff. When I first read it, I got really upset and I was like, they need to cancel this right away. They're going to destroy this franchise. The more I looked, the more I realized most of these claims have zero evidence behind them. So we did some digging and we found the source of all of this controversy. And guys, it's kind of dumb. This seemed to have been started from an article by the website Fandom Wire. They appear to report on all things pop culture, and this is by no means a diss to them, as they have a pretty big following, but I think it's very important that we are skeptical of pretty much all journalism these days. But I have reason to believe that this article might be completely fake. First of all, their sources are, quote, multiple sources inside Netflix. And as much as I want to believe that, and as cool as that sounds as a story, that's just not concrete evidence. I'm not saying they're lying, but I'm saying they could have totally lied, and there's no way to prove it either way. Let's look at the actual complaints that this article listed. They said the creators had a problem with a budget, which I could totally see happening. Out of all of them, this one kind of makes the most sense to me. But then it moves on to say that they had problems with the diversity of the cast, claiming the creators insisted there was not a single white actor in the series, while Netflix pushed for white characters. That was actually a pretty big controversy with the first one, and honestly, I wouldn't even call it as much of a controversy as it was just like a horribly insensitive decision to make this show with all this great representation and cultural research played by a bunch of white people who say the names wrong. The article finishes up by saying that a problem with the overall tone of the show, making the biggest and boldest claim yet that they wanted to age up the characters, making it darker, more mature, with romance, sex, and blood. But apparently the creators stayed adamant that the show remained aimed at kids. And yeah, that's pretty much the article. No sources, just a lot of claims. Now look, this is scary news to hear, but for the sake of complete transparency, I just don't buy this article yet. And this video might age horribly. There might be some concrete evidence coming out soon that confirms all of this, and I will look like an idiot. And I'm fine with that, because I am an idiot. But guys, this is just some random article from some random pop culture news aggregate. Not to mention the fact that if you do the slightest amount of digging, you'll find that they have been incorrect multiple times in the past. I'm not saying we should be ignorant to this, we definitely should be skeptical. And the level of outrage that's come out of it, the amount of people that are blindly believing this article, and not even just the article, just word of mouth spreading of this information, it's really dangerous. I get if people don't want this series anymore because the creators left. I even get if they don't want the series anymore because they're skeptical of what these creative differences were, even if they don't know what they were. But the ones listed in this article were super broad and surface level, almost so simple that anyone could get mad over them. I'm upset that there was any creative differences at all, especially because Netflix pushed the narrative so heavily that they were letting them have so much control. But if I wanted to make a fake article and get Twitter mad, this is definitely the stuff I would have came out with. And that doesn't mean there could be some of this that turns out to be true. Again, will we ever even fully know? Sure, there's tons of NDAs and stuff Netflix is super lock and key. The show doesn't even have a cast yet. In my opinion, if there were creative differences between Netflix and the creators, I feel like they'd be way more complicated than this. Maybe stuff concerning the Avatar lore or how they do the story, but at the same time, I'm not going to be ignorant to the fact that Hollywood has made these mistakes in the past. Specifically, whitewashing, aging up characters, or sexualizing characters. I mean, this is stuff we've seen before, and honestly, I wouldn't put it past Netflix to do it. It doesn't sound completely unbelievable, but until we have more evidence or any concrete evidence at all, I think it's dangerous to take this as fact. As with everything on the internet, including this very video, just take it with a grain of salt. But again, I want to say one more time, these are just my thoughts and opinions, and if you feel differently, that's totally valid. If the Avatar live action series did come out, and all the characters were 25 and drinking and smoking, and Aang was played by Timothée Chalamet, I would be devastated, but it would be so absurdly bad that I feel like it'd be entertaining in its own right. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Still, this is proof of the fact that Avatar's fan base, the new one at least that's been formed since it was put on Netflix, is elite. They are dedicated to the show and they will defend it at all costs. That's why I still firmly believe the future of Avatar is bright. To end on a hopeful note, the creators' departure from the series means that they are officially freed up to work on anything else Avatar. That includes another animated series. Even in their resignation letters, they expressed interest in still playing a part in the Avatar universe in some capacity in the future. So maybe this project didn't pan out for them, but the one that they get to work on because of them leaving will be even better than the live action series ever could. Still, it's hard because it's all speculation, but of course that leads me to ask you guys, what do you think about all of this? Do you believe this article? Are you mad? Are you not? Let us know in those comments down below, tweets with Roundtable vids, or me at @RetroNemo. If you want to consider helping out the Roundtable, you can support us on Patreon or become a member of the channel and get exclusive access to scripts and avatars. As always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give a like, share it, and subscribe to the Roundtable for more incredible cartoon content. So as guys, I'm Nemo, this is an Avatar video, and I will see you next time. Peace.